So here's a fun thought. You're never actually seeing yourself in real time. You're seeing a flipped, light bounce version of yourself that your brain pretends is you, even though it's not. You've never actually seen your own face, only reflections, photos, or that horrifying moment when your front camera opens unexpectedly. Mirrors are weird. Deeply, existentially weird. On the surface, they seem normal, just shiny rectangles that confirm you still exist, and that, yes, that one pimple is still there. But your brain doesn't love them as much as you think. That subtle unease you feel when you stare too long into a mirror, that creeping whisper of, "This feels off somehow?" Yeah, your brain's screaming, "This is not normal." And just trying not to spiral into an identity crisis. Because biologically, humans weren't meant to look at themselves constantly. For most of human history, reflections were found in still ponds not 6 times a day in your bathroom, your phone, your gym's wall, and your rearview mirror when you're crying to a Taylor Swift song. That unease is part survival instinct, part uncanny valley, and part your brain realizing it has to guess what you really look like in 3D space. So, if you've ever avoided eye contact with your own reflection, don't worry. That's not weird. That's evolution doing its best to keep you from having a dissociative episode in a Sephora. Number 2. The Bloody Mary Effect. Say her name 3 times in the mirror and she appears. Classic playground nightmare fuel, but also an unintentionally accurate crash course in how unstable your brain becomes when you stare too long at your own reflection. This is a real thing. It's called the strange face illusion. Look into a mirror in low light for a few minutes, and your brain starts glitching out. Faces melt, eyes disappear, people see demons, dead relatives, or versions of themselves that do not belong on this plane of existence. Why? Because your visual system starts failing to keep your face stable. The brain is constantly stitching together what it thinks you look like, but in dim light, that system gets lazy. Facial recognition starts falling apart. So your brain just goes, here's a haunted nightmare creature instead. Enjoy. Your neurons basically give up, and hallucinations creep in like it's open mic night for your subconscious fears. And no, this doesn't only happen to weird kids with Ouija boards. Psychologists have tested this on regular, well-adjusted adults, and surprise, half of them saw monsters. So next time someone dares you to try Bloody Mary, tell them you're already haunted by your student loans, your sleep paralysis demon, and that one time you said "you too" to a waiter who told you to enjoy your food. You don't need mirror ghosts on top of that. Number 3. Your brain doesn't trust copies. Let's say you walk into a room. You see a person. They look familiar. They're doing what you're doing, but mirrored. Your brain squints. Wait, is that me? Or an imposter? Why is it so still? Why is it staring like that? Did I blink? Congratulations! You just experienced doppelganger anxiety, which is a fancy term for the very primal discomfort that happens when you encounter a copy of yourself, even when it's just your own reflection. Your brain has an entire department dedicated to identifying faces, the fusiform face area. It's great at spotting other people, but when it spots you, perfectly mirrored, it gets twitchy. Because the idea of you is stored differently than the image of others. So every time you catch your own reflection unexpectedly, like in a dark window or a quiet elevator, your brain momentarily doesn't recognize you. That half-second jolt of, "Who's that?" That's not paranoia. That's your brain going, "There's another you, and we don't like competition." Evolution didn't prep us for cloning, selfies, or HD bathroom lighting. It prepped us to spot threats, even if those threats are just your own tired face at 2 a.m. wondering where it all went wrong. Number 4. Uncanny Valley, but make it personal. The Uncanny Valley isn't just for creepy robots and CGI babies that look like they stole someone's soul. It also applies to you, specifically the version of you that lives inside mirrors. Here's the sciencey bit. Your brain likes categories. It loves them. Cute baby, angry raccoon, definitely a person. But when something looks human but feels slightly off, your brain throws a tantrum. This is the uncanny valley where things are almost real but not quite, and that "not quite" triggers ancient prehistoric alarms. Now imagine applying that to your own face. Because, let's be honest, no mirror reflection is perfect. Lighting messes with it, angles distort it, and mirrors flip your features in a way no one else ever sees. So, what you're staring at isn't the you. Your brain knows it's a creepy cousin your neurons don't fully trust. The result? Mild unease. Or full-on, why does my own mouth look like a wax museum knockoff vibes. This might also explain why you've never liked your smile in selfies, or why candid photos make you question your entire identity. You're used to your mirror twin, but everyone else knows real you. Your brain has made peace with the funhouse version, but the second that gets even slightly distorted, welcome to internal uncanny valley population, also you. Number 5. Mirror touch synesthesia, aka you feel what you see. Okay, get ready to be mildly freaked out by people who literally feel other people's reflections. There's a rare brain glitch called mirror touch synesthesia. Basically, if someone with this condition sees someone else get touched on the arm, the face, wherever they feel it on their own body. Yeah, like their brain has merged the empathy slider with the body mapping system and just turned both to maximum chaos. So, imagine what happens when those people look in a mirror. Spoiler, they feel like they're touching themselves, but not in a fun way. More like, this is a psychological horror movie and I want out way. Even if you don't have full-on synesthesia, you have a little of this glitch. Ever flinched watching someone stub a toe? Or felt physically uncomfortable watching a cringe TikTok? That's a mini version of mirror neuron activation, your brain trying to simulate other people's experiences. So, when you see yourself in the mirror blinking, frowning, picking your teeth, your brain fires up those same simulation systems. It's part self-awareness, part empathy, and part, ew, why do I look like that when I chew? Now layer that with evolutionary body boundaries, the idea that your body should be yours and under your control, and suddenly your reflection doing its own thing becomes weirdly threatening. Because mirrors don't just reflect you, they make your brain feel you from the outside in. Number 6. Mirrors mess with time perception. Have you ever stared into a mirror for a weirdly long time and then walked away feeling like you just lost 20 minutes of your life to a haunted liminal dimension? No? Just me? Okay, well, it's real, and psychologists have studied it. Turns out, prolonged self-observation in mirrors can distort your sense of time. Your brain, normally very good at tracking seconds and minutes, starts to loop your reflection like a visual screensaver. You lose track of when you started looking. And sometimes, if you're deep in the zone, you start questioning whether you're the real you or if the mirror version is living a better life. This is called a dissociative state. And yes, it can be triggered by staring into your own eyeballs for too long. Congratulations! Your bathroom vanity is a portal to existential dread. Some people describe it like watching themselves from outside their own body. Others report feeling like their reflection blinked at the wrong time, or that their face subtly changed while they weren't paying attention. None of this is technically dangerous, but it's also not great that your brain can be tricked into minor identity crises by a sheet of polished glass. So yeah, if you've ever stared into the mirror too long and left feeling like you've been psychologically vacuumed, you're not alone. Your brain just took a field trip to the weird part of the funhouse.